she said. I just asked him to help with the towel on my back. If that makes you jealous, you can leave. Then she smirked and kept chatting with him in front of the whole group. As if I wasn't even there, I stayed silent. That same evening, I booked a train ticket and left without a word. The next morning, my phone was exploding with notifications. I just asked him to help with the towel on my back. If that makes you jealous, you can leave. That's what she shouted, loud enough for half the group to hear. Everyone smiled awkwardly. She was looking at the swimming instructor, adjusting her hair. Pretending I wasn't standing right next to her, I didn't argue, didn't roll my eyes, didn't demand an explanation. I just replied, fine, and walked away. No drama, no shouting, no pleas for her to show me some consideration. I went back to our room, packed my things, reserved the next available flight, and vanished. She thought I was bluffing. She always did. But this time, I was finished. I didn't message her, didn't leave a note. I just left. The next morning, the phone wouldn't stop. Calls, texts, alerts. Her name is Leah. We'd been seeing each other for nearly 2 years. She was the type who never entered a space without drawing eyes. She ensured everyone paid attention, confident, charismatic, always with a booming laugh, light touches during conversations, the kind of woman who turned heads, and she thrived on that interest. When we first connected, that vitality hooked me. I appreciated that she wasn't timid or bland. But over time, I spotted something different. She didn't. Just like the interest, she craved it. And whenever I hinted at discomfort, she'd brush it off. You're overcomplicating things again. I'm just sociable. That was Leah's go-to excuse, just sociable. Whether it was sitting too close to someone at a cafe or messaging exes late into the night, it all boiled down to sociability. I used to let it pass, not because I missed it, but because I didn't want to be a watchdog in my own partnership. If a person chooses to cross a boundary, they'll do it. You can't block it by standing guard. So I observed, listened, and drew conclusions. Leah valued guys noticing her more than a partner who valued her. That was okay until she started doing it right in my face. When she invited me on this lake trip with her crowd, I agreed, partly for a break from routine, partly to test if she behaved the same around folks who knew me. I wasn't plotting a confrontation, I just wanted clarity. Her circle was predictable, noisy, fun-loving selfie enthusiasts, the sort who capture every instant for social media. Leah blended in perfectly, absorbing every glance like it was vital. I didn't chime in much. I'm not one to vie for loudness in a bunch. The first day went smoothly. We swam, ate fish, sipped drinks by the water. She kept it casual, poking fun at me a couple of times in that manner that teeters on disregard. I remained steady. No point debating nuances when the motive is clear. But on the second day, everything shifted. She was in her zone. New swimsuit, shades, music cranked up. I saw it in her stance. She wasn't just relaxing at the lake. She was putting on a performance. Every look from a bystander, a shot of affirmation, and then he appeared. The swimming instructor, a sturdy local guy named Alex, courteous, assistive, doing his duties. But Leah turned it into a spectacle, grabbing his shoulder while laughing, praising his skills, asking him to assist with the towel. I was sitting nearby, with a water bottle in hand. She didn't turn to me, didn't even glance, just spun around and called him over, as if I wasn't in the picture. That's who Leah was. Someone who hungered for a response, not a companion, the type who tosses a spark to see if you'll ignite for her. I'd heated up enough. When she turned back, saw me watching, she grinned. What? Don't tell me you're jealous again. Then louder, for the friends, I just asked him to help with the towel on my back. If that makes you jealous, you can leave. That line wasn't about the towel. It was about dominance, about showing everyone she could demean me and expect me to stick around. And that's when I realized. She didn't respect me. She was just testing if I respected myself. For a moment, everything halted. The music, the chuckles, even the water's splash seemed to quiet. If that makes you jealous, you can leave. Half the group stared at me, half at her, anticipating an outcome. A quarrel, an apology, maybe a quip to ease it. But I gave them none of that. Leah was still grinning, shades low on her nose, watching me like I was supposed to act out the role of the insecure boyfriend so she could feel superior. She wanted a show. Instead, I offered silence. I didn't appear irritated, didn't twitch, just said softly, okay. And that one word must have struck her harder than any yell, because her grin wavered for a split second, then snapped back, forced and overly radiant. Come on, don't dramatize, she called out, audible to all. He's so touchy, right? The friends laughed strained, the kind of laugh that's not from joy, but from dread of awkwardness. No one truly found it amusing. I didn't react. I just grabbed my bag, brushed off the sand, and walked. She kept talking behind me, her voice pursuing me along the shore. Are you seriously leaving? Hey, don't spoil the vibe. You can pout later. We're enjoying ourselves. I didn't look back, because when you're publicly dismissed, turning around means asking for more. Back in the room, I still felt the sun sting on my skin, but inside, it was serene. Too serene. That's when I knew. This is the end. True closures don't arrive with shouts or sobs. They come with quiet assurance. I took a shower, gathered my stuff unhurriedly, precisely. Folded clothes, removed chargers. Each action felt like reclaiming a fragment of myself I'd handed over gradually. By the time I zipped the bag, the lake's clamor seemed distant. She messaged once. Seriously? You're acting like a kid over a joke. I didn't reply. Then a second. If you bail over this, don't come back. I smirked, not from malice, but because it simplified my choice. I'd already bailed. Downstairs, I approached the desk. The clerk recognized me from arrival and smiled. I smiled back, returned the key, and settled my portion. He asked if the other guest, Leah, was departing too. Not yet, I said. She's lingering a bit. He nodded. Outside, the air smelled of water and lotion. The cab to the station was waiting at the curb. I got in, set down my bag, and watched the resort recede in the window. No remorse, no doubts, no soundtrack, just tranquility. En route, I scrolled through photos on my phone, shots of us grinning, chuckling, appearing content. They seemed phony now, not because she was faking, but because I'd been pretending all was well. She didn't want an equal. She wanted a spectator, and I was tired of being her reflection at the station. I grabbed tea, checked the soonest train home, and purchased a ticket. The teller asked if I needed cancellation coverage. Not necessary, I said. I won't reconsider. Boarded without pause. No farewells. No cinematic window gazing. Just a person abandoning what should have been left sooner. Upon arrival at dawn, I powered on the phone. Seconds later, it buzzed nonstop. Messages flooded in. The screen brimmed with her name. At first, I ignored. Then curiosity prevailed, and I peeked at a preview. Are you really doing this? You just ditched. Everyone's wondering where you went. This is embarrassing. Another followed immediately. You're exaggerating. It was a joke. Don't blow it up. Then, they're making me cover your share of the car rental. My card's declining. Transfer it so I can go? I gazed at that for a few seconds, then locked the screen. Sometimes, muteness is the priciest response you can offer. By midday, the phone glowed like a holiday display. Calls, texts, voicemails. I set it face down and carried on with tasks. Quietude spoke volumes over any words. Then a text from an unknown number, one of her pals. Opened it from curiosity, not sentiment. Hey, this is Mark. You don't know me much, but FYI, she's panicking. The rental demands she pay your part since it's joint. Cards rejected. She's sobbing at the counter. Figured you'd want to know. I looked at the text briefly, then replied with 2 words. She'll handle it. And that was it. Muted the chat. Half an hour later, another alert. A screenshot from their group chat. Leah arguing with the manager. Voice elevated, still trying to seem in charge. Then a message from a girl named Sophie. One of the quieter friends. You told him to leave if jealous. Guess he did just that. No one responded after. By evening, she likely realized no rescuer was coming. Her message's tone shifted from annoyed to anxious, then affectionate. Please, sorry, let's talk. You shamed me by leaving like that. They're making me look foolish. And finally, the rental won't release. Just send the money. Begging you. I didn't respond. I just scrolled through them leisurely, watching her words bend from haughtiness to helplessness. It wasn't about the cash. It was about command. She'd lost it and couldn't bear it. That night, Mark texted again. She's asking everyone for cash. No one's giving. Thought you'd pay online or something. She's unraveling. Dude, said you stranded her. I sent a final reply. She instructed me to leave. He didn't text back. A couple hours later, she posted a story. A lake's sunset photo captioned. When you care for someone insecure, they'll always find an excuse to flee. The comments were harsh. Her own friends chimed in. Strong women don't belittle their partners publicly. He didn't flee. You shoved him out. She deleted it in 10 minutes, but screenshots had spread. For the first time in ages, I felt no urge to justify myself. People had witnessed what mattered. You can feign warmth, but not esteem. By the second evening, her tone grew gentler, slower. Forgive me, I didn't intend it that way. It was a joke. Okay, can we mend this? Then minutes later, I hate that you can walk away and not worry. She was mistaken there. It wasn't indifference. I just ceased investing care in someone who never reciprocated. Mark wrote one last time in the morning. Rental finally covered. She had to call her dad for a wire. The whole thing was uncomfortable. Then a laughing emoji. I didn't reply. Wasn't needed. Turned off alerts and went for a stroll. The air felt fresher. Maybe just from the lack of fuss. Sometimes you don't need to shatter someone's pride. Just cease nourishing it. Life handles the rest. A week passed before she rang again. From a different number, almost respected the tenacity. Let it ring twice. Then picked up. Initial seconds. Silence. Then a trembling voice. You really abandoned me there. Jake, had to call my dad for funds. Do you realize how degrading that was? The tone wasn't furious, small, frightened. I stayed quiet. Let her speak. You didn't even verify if I was all right. After all we've shared, that's how you handle me. Over one silly remark. I finally spoke, evenly and composed. No, Leah, not over one remark. Over every instance you found neglect amusing. Over every time I felt unseen. That line by the lake was merely the final one. She tried to interject. I was kidding. You weren't, I said. And even if so, it revealed all I needed, a few seconds. Just her breathing. Then softly. You didn't even struggle for me. I nearly chuckled, not cruelly, but at the irony. You ordered me to leave. Leah. I simply obeyed. Silence once more. Then she whispered, almost resentful. You've changed. No, I said. I just stopped confusing your turmoil with emotion. She hung up. No screams, no tears, just a click. It felt like the calm following a prolonged tempest. That was our final exchange. I didn't block her, didn't need to. She quit trying, and honestly, that quietude surpassed any resolution. A couple weeks later, I began chatting with someone new. Her name's Emma. In advertising, soft voice, gentle gaze, no theatrics. Met at a business dinner, discussed movies, journeys. How nice it is when folks converse maturely. She didn't coquette for notice. She listened, smiled timely, didn't center everything on herself. It was straightforward, invigorating. I didn't hurry, didn't contrast, didn't mention Leah. She didn't need to hear. What counted was that when she talks, I don't have to defend myself to be heard. Sometimes tranquility seems so alien you confuse it with monotony. But post Leah, I knew otherwise. Tranquility isn't dull. It's restorative. A few days ago, Mark texted one final time. Hey, just info, Leah's back. Heard she's telling folks she got the message. Not that it matters. I replied simply. Wish her luck, and muted the thread. I wasn't angry at her. Didn't absolve her either. Just stopped concerning myself. Some folks don't learn from your absence. Only when the invoice comes, both literally and figuratively. I don't resent her, don't wish her harm, but I'm glad I departed when I did. Before I forgot what serenity feels like. Now every morning is quieter, not vacant, just serene. So yeah, maybe I did leave, but for the first time in years, it truly feels like arriving. If you were in my shoes, how would you have handled it? Stayed to debate or walked away silently, like I did? Thanks for hearing me out. Really, sometimes the toughest tales are the hushed ones where you don't yell, don't battle, you just depart.